economy has a comprehensive implementation framework. Green technology investments record more than 1 billion ringgit. Good evening and Salam Malaysia Madani. Watching Malaysia Tonight, I'm Shuhaida Arifin. Justifying the government's move to replace the World Bank-endorsed Shared Prosperity Vision 2030 SPV with the Madani Economic Framework, Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim said the decision was made after taking into account the local context and economic factors. The Prime Minister at the Dewan Rakyat today said that while Malaysia benefited from the views of the World Bank, there are shortcomings in terms of the understanding of local factors and values. He said that local economists and thinkers may have a better understanding of the situation in the country.
Walaupun kita mengambil kira beberapa pandangan pakar-pakar internasional termasuk Bank Dunia, jangan hanya menciplak dan kemudian menjadikan ini sebagai agenda negara seperti mana yang berlaku dalam wawasan kemakmuran bersama yang juga dipakai oleh kerajaan yang berhormat dulu. Itulah sebabnya mengapa kita buat anjakan. Anjakan ini saya katakan kena berteraskan nilai.
Datuk Seri Hamzah Zainuddin, PN Larut, had asked Datuk Seri Anwar to state new innovations that the Madani Economic Framework contains, which are different from the SPV when it comes to achieving the goal of placing Malaysia in the top 30 largest economies in the world. The SPV 2030 was introduced by Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad Sepakatan Harapan Government in 2019 to replace the Vision 2020. It was also later adopted by Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin's Perikatan Nasional Government. Green technology investments were recorded at 1.3 billion ringgit between January and June this year, representing a 21.9% year-on-year growth. The Malaysian Investment Development Authority, MIDA, said this encompasses of various green technology initiatives, including renewable energy RE, energy conservation, waste management, green buildings and services. Notably, MIDA said 348 green technology projects and services, including RE, were approved up to June this year. It said that this aligns with the objectives of the National Energy Transition Roadmap and ETR. MIDA further noted that Malaysia has experienced significant growth with an average annual increase of 35 to 40% in green projects covering RE, energy efficiency, green buildings and integrated waste management since 2018. The remarkable annual growth rate can be attributed to the favourable government incentives in place. From 2018 to June this year, MIDA approved 3,247 green projects worth over 17.7 billion ringgit, reflecting Malaysia's promising outlook in green technologies. MIDA said it is diligently prioritizing green initiatives with a specific focus on renewable energy projects that adhere strictly to ESG criteria and standards. The existing halal certification laboratory will be upgraded to produce more experts in halal certification, especially among technical and vocational education and training TVET graduates. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi said the move is important to empower the country's halal industry, which currently provides more than 25,000 job opportunities.
Saya akan bersama-sama dengan JAKIM untuk membantu meningkatkan taraf makmal yang ada, juga untuk melahirkan lebih ramai pakar-pakar yang membantu di dalam pengeluaran sijil halal ini. Malah TVET yang saya ketuai juga akan melahirkan lulusan pengauditan halal melalui TVET ini dan Universiti Kuala Lumpur yang pengurusi marahnya ada di sini, dan juga soal pengamal-pengamal, pegawai-pegawai penasihat halal di industri-industri ini. Ini akan kita wujudkan.
Speaking after launching the Halal On Track program in Kuala Lumpur, he said the halal certification will be given focus at the tabling of the 2024 budget because of the halal industry's potential, which is worth over $1.3 trillion. He added it is also because Malaysia needs to continue to be a country that dominates the halal industry at the international level. A total of 5,873 5G sites have been developed as of 30th September, with this service now reaching 70.2% coverage in the populated areas. Communications and Digital Minister Fahmi Fadil said a total of 2.49 million 5G service subscription was recorded, which was equivalent to a 7.4% adoption rate.
Sehingga kini, 6 syarikat pemberi perkhidmatan mudah alih telah menawarkan plan komersial 5G, iaitu Celcom Digi, Maxis, U-Mobile, Telekom Malaysia, YTL Communications dan UDU.
Speaking during a question and answer session in the Dewan Rakyat today, the minister said the implementation of the 5G network was being carried out by Digital Nasional Berhad with the target of developing 7,509 5G sites nationwide. He revealed that the Rahmah 5G package, launched last 31st August, had received 50,991 subscriptions as of the end of last month. Fahmi also stated that the implementation of 5G in Malaysia was the fastest compared to the 4G network implemented previously. The National Service Training Program PLKN 3.0 will be continued, but with a different training approach, including requiring youth to undergo training at army camps. Defence Minister Datuk Seri Mohamad Hassan said a special committee has been established to study the method to revive PLKN, but with a fresh template instead of using the old approach where it is more like a summer camp. PLKN 3.0 aims to prepare trained youths with strong character and a deep love for the country, which will equip them for future employment in crucial government agencies.
Apakah kita akan mengambil template Singapura dan Korea? Tidak. Mereka ini bukan khidmat negara, mereka ini adalah kerahan tenaga. Jadi kita tak mau ikut Korea ataupun Singapura, tapi kita akan ada template kita sendiri, Datuk Petua, untuk kita ubah sesuai. Dan kita akan gunakan kem tentera, ada 13 kem wataniah, seluruh negara itu betul. Ada satu kem Polapol pusat di Pusat Latihan Polis Jalan Tembak yang boleh accommodate 4,000 orang untuk 1 tahun. Dan kami boleh melatih lebih kurang 20,000 orang. Datuk betul, 45 hari, 45 hari, 45 hari. Dan tenaga pelatih pun dah ada, tentera, jadi kurang kos Datuk betul.
According to the minister, PLKN 3.0 will be implemented in 2 phases, with phase 1 conducted at the school level involving Form 4 students, with focus on enhancing existing uniformed body programs. After completing Sijil Pelajaran Malaysia, they progress to phase 2, where they will be welcomed by other agencies. Israel and Gaza reels as death toll continues to soar in war with Hamas. Then more coming up in our foreign segment. Malaysia urges the United Nations Security Council UNSC to take immediate action to call on all parties to cease all acts of violence and clashes in the Gaza Strip. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Dr. Mazid Hamidi said this is to respect and protect the lives of the innocent civilians, as the ongoing 75-year conflict has claimed too many lives, caused injuries to thousands of others and destroyed public and private properties. Datuk Seri Ahmad Zahid said the Palestinians should be granted their absolute right to freedom from illegal Israeli occupation, the right to reclaim land seized by Israel, and the right to establish an independent and sovereign Palestinian state with East Jerusalem as its capital.
Malaysia terbuka dan akan terus menyokong segala usaha konkret dan realistik untuk mencari jalan penyelesaian yang adil dan berkekalan terhadap konflik Palestin-Israel ini. Penyelesaian ini hendaklah berdasarkan peruntukan undang-undang, khususnya undang-undang antarabangsa dan resolusi Majlis Keselamatan PBB.
He said this during a briefing on the current developments in the Palestinian-Israeli conflict in the Dewan Rakyat today. Dato' Seri Ahmad Zahid, however, said the international community, especially Western powers, has somehow been seen as being indifferent and turning a blind eye to the atrocities committed by the Israeli regime against the Palestinian people without taking punitive action. He pointed out that this selective approach had raised questions about the fairness in the enforcement of international principles and laws. Israel relentlessly pounded the Gaza Strip early today as fighting raged with Hamas around the Gaza Strip, and the death toll from the war against the Palestinian militants surged above 1,100. The Israeli army said it hit more than 500 targets in the blockaded and impoverished Gaza Strip in overnight clashes, while fighting persisted in 7 to 8 locations inside Israel around the enclave. It came 2 days after Hamas launched a barrage of rockets and sent a wave of fighters who gunned down civilians and took at least 100 hostages in a massive attack that took Israel by surprise. Yesterday, the government officially declared war on the Palestinian militant group that controls Gaza, and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu had warned Israel to prepare for a long and difficult conflict. More than 700 Israelis have been killed since Hamas launched its large-scale attack, while another 1,200 people have been wounded, many critically. In retaliation, Israeli airstrikes have hammered the impoverished and blockaded Gaza Strip, an enclave of 2.3 million people, with officials there reporting at least 413 Palestinians dead. The military said in a statement that overnight IDF fighter jets, helicopters, aircraft and artillery struck over 500 terrorist targets in the Gaza Strip. Liberia's presidential election sees 19 candidates vying to replace President George Weah, who's seeking a second term. If it goes to a second round of voting, they stand out as a possible rivals to Weah, a former international football star who in 2017 won more than 61% in the second round. Losing candidate in the final round of voting in 2017, Joseph Boakai, looks to be on his last bid for the presidency at the age of 78. He has served the state for 4 decades. Vice President to Ellen Johnson, Sir Leaf from 2006 to 2018. Boakai can boast of his years of experience, but the Agriculture Minister in the government of President Samuel Doe has been branded Sleepy Joe by opponents who suggest it's time to retire. Boakai is from the indigenous population like George Weah and not the US Liberian elite who founded the free nation and were descended from slaves. Boakai calls himself an ordinary, honest man from a modest background who had to work hard. He says integrity has marked his long career, which has included criticism of the Weah administration's links to several corruption scandals. Coming up in sports, KBS may continue setting overall medal targets for future games. The Youth and Sports Minister, or KBS, has hinted that it may continue the formula of setting overall medal targets without specifying the number of gold medals in future games. Its Minister Hanayo said the new approach used at the 2022 Hangzhou Asian Games seemed to have been effective in ensuring the athletes were not pressured to deliver the goods.
Kali ini, kerana sasaran bukan kita lihat pingat emas sahaja, setiap pemenang pingat gangsa pun mereka rasa they are celebrated. Okay, itu yang pentinglah. Kalau benda tu baik untuk atlet kita, kita akan teruskan.
Hannah said every decision made, including the mechanism for setting the overall medal target that was proposed by the Nippon Sports Science University of Japan, which has forged a collaboration with the National Sports Council NSC, was to ensure the well-being of the athletes is guaranteed. She also revealed that the Nippon Sports Science University personnel are scheduled to return to Malaysia next month to review every result achieved by the national athletes in Hangzhou and assist them in drawing up preparations for the 2026 Asian Games in Aichi, Nagoya, Japan.